Welcome. In today's lesson, we're going to be discussing email marketing for business-to-business marketing. So if you're trying to get businesses to carry your products, or you're doing some sort of service like marketing to other businesses, email marketing is a great way to go. In tandem with direct mail marketing, it can be a really profitable marketing structure for yourself. So just first thing you want to do when you're doing these emails for business to business is you want to actually create an email account with, I usually just do Gmail or any sort of service that you like. That's just something that's you're going to be able to use ongoing and won't go away anytime in the future. And what you're basically going to do is create this account. I would say don't use your name, because you're going to be asking for information from your direct competitors. So having your actual name on there might make them a little cautious of that. So create just a generic email account, Gmail, whatever it might be. And then the next step is actually signing up for information from other wholesalers. So this is just an example if you're doing the wholesale route, but if you're, let's say, doing marketing for businesses of any sort, let's say you're doing businesses for architecture, right? Or architecturists, right? You would find other people who are doing marketing for that industry. You would ask for information from them. You would sign up for their newsletters, and you would use that email account to get all that information, right? And what you would have is this, ongoing. I mean, six months, a year, for forever, ongoing. You have this really valuable information from all your direct competitors that you can draw from and use in your own campaigns. I mean, this is one I've created. Boy, this has got to be like 5+ years ago. So I have about 2,000 emails in the main folder, and then I have 5,227 in the promotions folder. So you're looking about, 6,500 emails I can draw from. And this is just this industry. I've done this for other industries as well. So just creating this account and then getting information from your direct competitors gives you this great catalog that you can go to anytime. So I'm using CBD here, but applies to any sort of industry across the board. Create the email account, get verified and everything. And then, actually go, I just did a search here for CBD wholesale. Open a new tab. These are the ones we've been to before. Yeah. You can also, as you're going through this, you can also just save these websites just so you have them on hand to go to in the future. But it doesn't necessarily have to be Google. If you already know some direct competitors that you want information from, go there definitely. But let's do it. Okay, wholesale program. Loads. There we go. Well, I wouldn't say put in, a fake name here, but whatever you would like to put in here. Company name, probably wouldn't put your actual company name in there, right? But it's not required in this case. So email, phone number. If it's required, then that might be a little bit tricky. I suppose you could put your real phone number if you don't mind them calling you. That would also offer some really valuable information, right? Like, do they have a salesperson call you? Do they offer whatever information they offer? So it's up to you for that information. But really what you're trying to get is that email. So they send you some sort of follow-up email and then ongoing emails. Okay. So you would enter your information there. Let's say whatever this is kind of a little bit of a different industry. This is kind of like bulk CBD, but let's just say it's your similar industry. Name, again, you're going to kind of run into this issue where it asks for the company name and phone number in a lot of these cases, but it's up to your discretion. This one asks for a lot of information. So another thing, when you're going to these sites, don't just ask for the wholesaler information. So that's kind of like step one. The second part of this is, let's take a look, is also signing up for these sort of emails. They got a pop up here. So, you would enter your email here. and then it would be sent to that email address ongoing. So it's not that sort of like newsletter isn't actually wholesaler or business to business information necessarily. This is like their business to consumer newsletter, but it's still really valuable information. I'll show you kind of some ideas with that in just a minute. For now, yeah, you're going to kind of run into that with the company name too. Again, your discretion, whatever information you want to put there. Apply. So we're now on their newsletter and we're on their wholesaler list. And now hopefully they would do they're going to do a follow-up email, and that's going to deliver some good information. But then ongoing, they're probably going to do additional follow-ups too. So that's a good amount of information from each one of these businesses, right? So we have that. Where did this one there? Yeah, 30% discount. So enter that email address here. Click sign up. I would enter that email and click sign up, but I'm already on their newsletter. So, first name, last name, company. It's going to be whatever you want to put there. That email address, and then whatever phone number you'd like to add. So you're just going through. You can do as many of these as you like. Really, it's kind of you just want to go after the main players in your industry or your direct competitors, whatever they're doing, just so you can kind of be in the know of what they're up to, right? And then you can also use that information for your own marketing structures. So, boom, boom, boom. Enter your information, right? Okay, you get the idea. It's kind of going through each one of these. Just take a look at these. Yeah, this one asks for a lot of info too. So I might skip that one, but definitely get on the newsletter. Newsletter, boom. First name, last name, company name, industry. I think it would be CBD. So yeah, you go through all those, enter in the email for all those, get signed on for anything they're offering, right? And then let's just say, your first sales letter that goes out, you now have, or first sales email that goes out to all the data that you've purchased, right? So we've used that data so far in the other example for direct mail marketing, right? We still have the emails. So looking at what sort of emails that they would send on that initial touch point, right? So going through and then kind of gathering the ad copy for that, and then using that for your own email campaigns, not only from the emails, but also your swipe file, right? So we have going back to the swipe file, we can see what kind of information from these websites that we've already gathered. We can see these are examples that we've used in the direct mail campaign. And then as this progresses, you can kind of look at, well, which of this ad copy has been successful. So we can use it again, optimize, maybe reword, improve on the results month by month, right? So just kind of going through the swipe file, you can get a lot of information there, and then send out those initial email campaigns. But it doesn't really just stop there, right? Like your salesperson sending out a sales email, you're going to get some response off of that, sure. But it's really about creating ongoing content or ongoing value to that email list. Now, first, let me say, make sure you check the rules and the laws in your area about spam and sending unsolicited email. Those rules are changing all the time. I don't know where you live. Make sure that you're up to date on that, right? And also, I don't know where you've purchased the data from. The data that you've purchased could have very well been opt-in information where the person is, the business is willingly giving their email address for to be sold or to be shared in some way. So make sure that you check that all out before you do any sort of ongoing campaigns. For your salespeople, and they're probably very knowledgeable in as far as sending out cold emails. So make sure you look into that, please. All right. But as far as after that initial email, you're going to get some sort of response, right? And then you still have this list of maybe a few thousand or tens of thousands of emails that are extremely valuable, right? It's what you want to do with that if it's opt-in and it's allowed in your area, is create a newsletter and provide valuable information to that list where you're sending something out once or once a week or once every 2 weeks, whatever it might be. and it's not a sales letter. It's an email providing value to your to that potential business, right? So, like for example, if any of you are signed on to my CBD newsletter, that's probably that's definitely my biggest newsletter following right now. It's about 40,000 people. The whole premise behind that is it's you never really see me pitching a service so much, or I try not to, right? Like it's all about providing valuable information for the CBD industry. Like, hey, here's this new law that was passed. Hey, here's what's going on in the UK. Hey, here's a new potential product. Da, 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 da. It's like a news thing that people are interested in reading, and because of that format, my open rates are very very high, usually in like the mid 30s, low 40s, 40%. So 40% of people open up my email campaigns, and that's pretty good ratio for 40,000 person list. So and that's sometimes I'll send 2 or 3 a week, because they're so valuable, right? They're offering actual valuable information to that customer base. A lot of people open them, and very very few people unsubscribe. So it's great numbers across the board. For my own business, it's been the best marketing channel to really develop. Now, if you're just pitching yourself and pitching to sales, and you're doing that 2 or 3 times a week, you're not going to get anywhere, and those people are going to unsubscribe, and the long-term value from that list isn't really going to be there. Whereas if you're just offering value in multiple emails a week, or once a month, or once every 2 weeks, really I would recommend once a week is kind of the ideal number. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. is usually the best time to send out email campaigns. They have the highest open rates usually, which is odd. But they've looked at all that data and really got dialed in. So Tuesdays around 10 is the ideal time to send that out. So when you're creating these email campaigns, think about what is the value that you can offer that customer base, right? You're not pitching really too much your services or your product or anything like that. It's really, here's this great value, and then a little footnote at the end says, hey, this is me. Here's my website. Here's what I have to offer. That's it. Like you're not pitching anything. It's just a signature at the end of this valuable email content that you're sending out to your potential business to business customers, right? So you can imagine, let's say you purchased a list of 10,000 businesses. Let's just say cannabis dispensaries, just because I'm very involved in that niche. 10,000 cannabis dispensaries, right? And you send out that initial sales email, and you have, maybe a 1% conversion rate or whatever it might be, which is fine. But that continued sending out an email a week. What is the time that it takes you to create one email campaign? It's not that much, right? What is the cost involved? You'd have to pay for an email manager, like MailChimp or something like that. Although they do take issue with CBD and cannabis products. So SendGrid it's a better option, or Sendinblue is a better option if you're doing that sort of industry. But what is the total cost? Maybe $200 a month, if that, right? $200-300 a month. So you're looking at potentially long term. Let's just say you're converting. I mean, one new wholesale customer. What is the profit margin for that, right? Probably going to be pretty substantial within a year. If you're gaining off of 10,000, I mean, if you're only gaining 1 or 2 wholesale customers for each email campaign, it's profitable, but it's going to be much higher than that, right? Because it's a much more substantial number, and you're providing value, and the long-term benefits of this really are extremely profitable. Really, the short term is kind of that first initial sales email. It's not really, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what will be long term. So really kind of think of what kind of email campaigns that you can create that are delivering real value to that potential customer base. And so let's just say, I'm doing an email campaign to CBD companies right now, right? And what are we going to write about? What's the email campaign going to be about? Well, okay, step 1, open up this email account where we signed up for all these newsletters, right? Now, a lot of these are wholesale, a lot of these are business to consumer, but it's my direct competitors, right? Assuming that I'm a CBD company selling CBD products. So let's just say, I'm trying to get my products in in with CBD companies. So first step would be opening up this email account, taking a look through, seeing what they're up to, open up your swipe file, taking a look at all this, ad copy that you've collected, get some ideas there. And then also, actually, just looking at Google News. So what is the latest news and information that's happening in that industry that's valuable to a CBD industry? Okay. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Maybe. See, these are kind of more generic news stories. These are just like press releases done by marketing people that are kind of lazy. Does CBD help with insomnia? Yeah, you've seen that. That's a really common sort of dumb article that you've seen all over the place. So this is a negative news story about CBD. Probably wouldn't want to push that in a newsletter, right? Because it's your industry. You're trying to get actual sales from it. Yeah, the 1, 2, 3s of CBDs for people and pets. That's worthless. That. Okay, this is interesting. So let's take a look. What's going on in the Defense Department warns that hemp granola and CBD hand sanitizer can compromise military areas. Let's see. Yes. So this is another example where you would want to get that information, right? Enter that email address right here, click sign up, and now you have updates from this website that provides CBD news, right? And not all of them are going to be ones you want to sign up for. Some of them are kind of junk, but, use at your own discretion here. Okay. Well, I don't know about that story. It doesn't seem too interesting. Insane. Bipartisan lawmakers. Okay, interesting. Out of here. It's not a very strong hook, is it? Let's see here. Well, this could potentially be a news story that you would do in a newsletter, right? The design, you can get a freelance designer to design an email template for you. $20, $30. I mean, you can get Fiverr or one of these other design websites, or your own graphic designer to design a really cool looking email template. But don't worry about the design too much. Really, with the business to business, and again, it goes back to knowing your customers, right? Who are your customers? They're business owners. They're busy. Design doesn't matter quite as much to them, right? It's value. Offer real value. With my newsletter, my header says "From the desk of Jesse Grillo, Redondo Beach, California." That's my, it's just text. There's no images really involved in my newsletters. Very, very clean, and fast to read. And business owners like that. They're busy. They got stuff going on. So this newsletter, I don't know, it's not really grabbing me, but this would be something worth considering, right? So what you would do is you would get when a writer. Again, you can hire a freelancer if you need to, or yourself, and kind of rework this news story. Make it as unique to you as possible, and then use that content within your newsletters. Hey, here's some valuable information about your industry, the business that you're in, right? That you depend on. And that usually gets a really good response. And then at the end, hey, here's me. Here's a little footnote for what I do, right? See, this is kind of location specific. That's the only reason why I would hesitate on that. But it's it's probably an interesting story to CBD people. So what you do is this could be something that you test, right? So you have. And let me go ahead and show you a few of my email campaigns, just so you can kind of see how you would send these ongoing. So Basically, you would send out, let's just say, an email campaign a week, right? Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Here's some high value content that affects you and your industry, affecting your pain points, right? And it's helpful to you. And by the way, this is me. That's it, right? I'll show you an actual email that I send out, but these are just some of the campaigns that I've sent. So what you would do is you would look at all these and you would say, okay, what has the highest open rates, right? And what is actually delivering the most conversions, where people are actually contacting me as a result of these emails. And you can set all that tracking up in Google Analytics and connect it to your MailChimp. And there's lots of different ways you can sort of track that. But you can kind of look through and say, well, okay, this newsletter, CBD and sports leagues, that has a 37% open rate, okay? Whereas attracting your ideal customer has a 32% open rate. So that, this is more industry specific. So I would say focus maybe a bit more on that, right? You have CBD marketing considerations that has 39%. Okay. So you're looking at the wording, you're looking at the kind of what kinds of newsletters are delivering the best results. All right. And then CBD post pandemic, summer sale. Well, I guess we can touch on the negativity bias. So it becomes a bit of a moral dilemma, at least for me. I don't, maybe a lot of marketers don't take issue with it, but people have a sort of negativity bias, and when they see things that are negative, they're going to be much more responsive to it. If you turn on the news, you can kind of see just extreme examples of that all the time, right? And so wording like you'll see that this email right here, CBD fraud charges, okay, that's 42%, 42.5% open rate compared to let's see here, CBD industry changes, right? Now that might not, let's just say it's 8%, whatever it might be. That might not seem big, but it is. I mean, that's huge. An 8% increase in opens on your emails, and let's just say 1 out of 50 convert that open your email campaigns. Even if you have a list of a few thousand, that's a few new customers that you just got, right? By framing things in a negative way and kind of focusing on things that are going to get that primal response out of people, which you can definitely include some of those campaigns, but it just you'll see that those sorts of like headlines or subjects for certain newsletters will get much more open rates, and it doesn't actually have to be like more valuable information or a better email or whatever it might be, but it catches people more because of that negativity bias that we all have. So it's just something to be mindful of. CBD lawsuit wins 2 million. 38.4. I mean, that's pretty high. It's higher than a lot of the other ones here. So we have CBD customer UK data, 35%, CBD content insights, 34%, and then CBD advisory board turmoil, 40%, right? So it's a much, it's a much higher number, just turmoil and whatever, that email might be about. But that sort of negativity really kind of grabs people and gets them reading a lot more. Not saying that you'd have to do that, but really what you want to do is just kind of look at all your email campaigns, figure out, okay, if this one's 40%, the other one's 40 something percent, what are the top 5 campaigns? Let's just say you've been doing it for 3 months or so. What are the top 5 campaigns that have gotten the most open rates? What are they about? What is the ad copy in those emails? How can we create more of those types of emails for the next campaign? And then do 5 emails or so of similar content to your most successful email from the last 3 months or whatever it might be, right? Run that for 3 months, repeat the process, right? What is the most successful email out of those campaigns? Okay, what's the content? What's the ad copy? What's the topic about? Let's create more of those emails, right? Run those for 3 months. So continue optimization. Now, obviously, you're going to mix in different emails and add more content if there's a big news story or if there's some important information or there's a sale or whatever it might be. Definitely include that, and you're going to be kept on. You're on the lifeline with your direct competitors and seeing what they're doing. So if something pops up that you're saying, oh, that's a really good story, let's make sure that's included, go ahead and include that. But I'm just saying, ongoing, you want to look at the campaigns that are going out to these customers of yours, business to business customers, and seeing what's working the most, creating more of what's working the most, and creating a bit of a process there. And you can also compare this across the board. So, okay, here's our top 5. Let's say a year out, right? This is a bit of a long-term thing, but we have here's our 5 most successful emails that we've sent out in the past year. Here's the 5 most successful direct mail marketing campaigns that we've sent out in the past year. Here's the 5 most successful Facebook ads. Here's the 5 most successful Google ads. Here's all our marketing channels, and here's the most successful ads on each one of those. What's in common? Is there anything in common? How could we blend that together to create new ads, to create better ads, right? If we know, let's just say, if CBD consumer data in the UK is the most opened email, right? And you're getting a lot of sales in the UK for whatever reason, and okay, that's telling, right? So what sort of images should we use for future campaigns? What sort of wording? Who should we target with ads? If we're doing Google ads, should we maybe add a little bit more of a focus on the UK clientele, right? If we're doing a direct mail campaign, what sort of images would that audience be more responsive to? These are all sorts of things to consider, kind of long term. But as far as the email campaigns go, it's really something that you kind of optimize ongoing, right? Okay. Step 1, create that email account. Right? 2, go out, all your competitors, sign up for all their stuff. Wholesale information, newsletters, whatever it might be. If you see news websites covering your industry, sign up for those. Sign up for everything, right? Just fill up this email box with information, right? That you can go to whenever you want to in the future. Do an initial email campaign to your list of data that you've purchased, making sure that they've opted in, making sure you're following the rules and laws and everything. When creating that campaign, look at your swipe file, right? Look at this email account that you've created, and blend something that will be responsive to that customer base. And this can be something that you sort of A/B test ongoing. After that initial email that's sent out, you want to provide ongoing value to that consumer base. And I've also seen it before where they don't even offer, that initial sales letter. It's really just starting off with a newsletter, providing extreme value to that customer base, not pitching a sale. But with that strategy, you're not getting so many sales initially, but you're also getting a lot more people that aren't unsubscribing from that email list, that aren't, blocking you or whatever it might be. That are continuing to stay on, and you're going to grow that brand awareness with them sort of ongoing, right? So if you kind of skip that initial sales email and just go into providing value, that could be a really good strategy to go ongoing, right? And then setting it up where you're sending an email campaign, I recommend once a week. If that's not possible, once every 2 weeks or once a month. But you have to continue to send those out to keep that brand awareness. On top of that, every once in a while, you're going to want to actually purchase new data whenever it's possible. If you're able to get your hands on some new, another few thousand emails for that particular industry, definitely, add that on ongoing. It's something you kind of feed into as it grows. I would also recommend, depending on what you're doing with your data and where you're purchasing your data from, email cleaning services. Those are really good before you actually send out the emails. You can just Google it, just email cleaning services. And basically what they'll do is they'll go through the emails, remove any ones that aren't active, and or have like a high spam reporting rate or have any sort of issues, and that'll help with your deliverability. So if you upload, let's just say you have a bunch of emails and you upload them to MailChimp and you send them out, and most of them aren't even active, or most of them are low quality and they never open or whatever, that's going to hurt your overall campaign, right? Like that's going to lower the amount of emails that are actually going to be delivered to actual valid email addresses. So the cleaner you can keep that email list, and the more you maintain it, the better it'll be. Okay. Create email account, get your competitors' information, create initial sales letter, if you like, optional, create ongoing value with email campaigns, right? Optimize ongoing. Boom. That's it for email marketing. And yeah, hopefully that was helpful. I'll see you on the next one.